Lee Kirby here with Gary Rabine, DDCEO. And Lee, thanks for being here today. I appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Lee, we focus on DDCEO, people that have that have built something from nothing basically, or with a small team and a little bit of money to being something spectacular. And your names come up as far as somebody that's done that. And I really over the last I've done 63 or 4 of these episodes, but really focused on more after I ran for governor recently in my state of Illinois. And I really focused more on patriots, people that have served our country, that have then gone into working hard to accomplish the blessings of free enterprise, something they fought for, like yourself. I also am interviewing people that maybe didn't serve but understand the blessings of free enterprise. So it's DDCEO Patriot Series. So you're like the perfect person for us to interview, because your history is amazing. You as a person that served our country for so doggone long, and then focus on entrepreneurship and business like you have. So thanks for being here, and just want to get your story from you. Tell us your story and tell us how the heck you did it.
You betcha. I can start back at the beginning if that works out.
That'd be amazing. Appreciate it.
I had a great childhood growing up in East Tennessee, farm boy, and I knew that if I was going to get my college, I needed to join the military. So I wanted to serve Tennessee volunteer spirit and all that. So I enlisted in 1976, got out, went into the reserves in 81 and got my commission in 82, and then stayed in the reserves to stay relevant and ready in case there was a need. And mid-90s, we invaded Haiti and I got called up for that. And then after 9/11, did 6 more years on and off active duty to support the war effort there, and had, I think, a real fulfilling career, an unusual career compared to most, because it went back and forth from reserves to active duty. But I got a chance to see the struggles that a lot of my comrades were having, because they would go and get called up and come back and have to restart business. Others that were coming off of active duty. When I retired in 2012, the unemployment for veterans was in the high 20% for folks that were prior enlisted and had just done a couple tours. So I wanted to do something, continue to serve. And my business partner and I, Jason Oakroy, came up with the idea of Salute, because we knew this industry and we knew we could get the training protocols in place to be able to take any veteran, not just technical skill veterans, but infantry and cooks and truck drivers, teach them how to operate in a data center and start careers in the data center industry. And that's when we launched Salute in 2013. So we're almost 10 years old now. We've got over 800 employees in 12 countries, and that's growing rapidly.
That's awesome. That's so amazing. You saw a problem, you were in the middle of the problem, you saw it, and you said, boy, there's a solution, and you're figuring it out in a huge way. And that's exactly what great entrepreneurs do. So that's really cool. And I got to tell you, Lee, I'm blessed to have some really, really strong leaders in my businesses that most of which we mentored from somewhere in our organization, whether it be from labor or operating equipment to project management or engineering, into CEOs and leaders. And just so happens that it's often the military history that gives a lot of these people their leadership skills that they wouldn't have had otherwise. So I mean, I've realized that there's definitely been a need, to do exactly what you're doing, but never heard of anybody doing it. So that's really cool. Tell me about how you really feel out what somebody's value is, and what their interests are, their passions are, and then how do you marry them to a business and all that.
You bet. And we do try to focus on people who, in our case, want to work with their hands. I'm the only former officer in the company, but I started out enlisted, so I can clean your toilet or I can do a strategic plan, whichever you need.
That's awesome.
We came up with the notion that it doesn't matter what your MOS does, it's what you do to support your primary specialty. So a lot of people think of infantry and they think they'll go out of the military and become a security guard. But to be an infantryman, you have to maintain your equipment. You've got complex communications gear, weapon systems, vehicle. That's what a data center technician does, just on different equipment. They follow procedures and they maintain it on a daily basis. So we took those skills and looked beyond the specialty and realized that we could do that for cooks, for truck drivers, for infantry, for any specialty that people often overlook and mark as unskilled when they come out of the military, but they're very skilled. If you look at my background in the military, I think I had an advantage because I was going through the officer professional development. My writing skills, my communication, my planning was all taught to me in a very structured way and then put into execution in combat and bring that to the civilian sector and be able to execute accordingly there. And I just think there's so much value to veterans that people overlook. And if you just think of it in commercial terms, thousands of dollars and years put into a person that's coming into the job market is something you should take advantage of. There's an ROI there.
Absolutely. I agree. There's so much work already done, right? When you look at the experience and the organizational skills and understanding of a team and what leadership looks like and how to respect leadership or challenge leadership, right? And all those things are things that don't come easily from somebody that just comes out of college or high school, college, or another job. So that's really amazing. I love it. And how does somebody go about using your services, your company to find the right people?
You bet. Our talent is really data center services. So typically our customers are hyperscalers. You hear the big names in the industry and co-location providers who rent out data center space. But they need somebody there on site to be able to take care of the mechanical and the electrical and the IT needs and the security and access. And so we engage with them on a service contract, and then we fill our people into the positions to be able to staff that site around the clock. If we have clients that want to do that themselves with their own internal, we don't recruit for them, but I do a lot of consulting with companies to help them understand how to set up transition and training programs so that they can take advantage of the entire. It's something over 200,000 veterans coming off of active duty every year. And if you add in military spouses, you bump that number up another 130, 40,000. That's a huge community to take advantage of. And I believe that if you have a good transition and training program, you can turn anybody into what you need as long as you have it defined.
Yeah, we've got all of our companies try to do some sort of a boot camp type of thing. And one of our companies, our fastest growing company, or one of our fastest growing companies has an amazing boot camp. And it just so happens that prior military are the best to go through it, to go through and be successful through the boot camp and then be really well educated at the job. And it's a company called Pipeview America. And it sounds like the type of talent you've been around, but it's basically Pipeview America. We put robots underground and we televise the condition of pipe for on a daily basis, hundreds of miles. They've got complex camera systems on these robots. Robots are high-speed robots, and they're not easy. You need to understand the robot, the camera system. You need to understand the computer system because one person on a two-person team is in a back of a box truck in an office, a rolling office. The other person's in the field dropping this robot into storm sewers all over from one to the next. And so it's labor, it's technology, it's project management, right? It's not just like one dimensional, like some jobs that we have where you're a laborer, you're shoveling asphalt, you're a laborer, you're finishing concrete, right? It's a little more complex. And so sure enough, my partner, the CEO of that company, has found that military experience has been vital, and we're the majority of our employees are military, as well as our leaders in that company. So it's really cool because what you're saying is so true. You need a mix of technology and labor, somebody to work their hands, and then understand processes. You've got it. So I would love to know more about how we can find more talent. We also have we have a technology company. We're hiring programmers and AI programmers and all different stuff. And same thing, if we could be hiring military, we would be blessed to be able to do that.
Cool. We do a lot of work at the military sites at transition assistance programs and the education centers, getting the word out to them. And it's a continuous process. I work with a nonprofit called Infrastructure Masons and chair the Armed Forces community there. And that's a lot of our outreach, is just making them aware that there's other opportunities and to look beyond your specialty skill. It's all those supporting skills and the soft skills that you have, and understand the opportunities, and hoping to increase that every year so that more and more veterans aren't going the route of just working in retail or something that's not as fulfilling, I think, as a good technology career.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you have any ideas for that, I'd love to get in a conversation with you and our CEO of that company. It's called Site. And we use drones and artificial intelligence to assess the condition. We're paving companies, we have roofing, doors and docks. We do a lot of stuff for big facilities, and drones and artificial intelligence assess the properties, and our engineers then consult to our customers. But our programmers are building these programs on a constant basis. It's really cool. So
yeah,
if there's
chat with him anytime.
What's that?
I'd be happy to chat with him anytime, share some stories and see what he's trying to do and give some advice.
That'd be awesome. So tell me who's your target customer, Lee, and how do you go after them, and how do you land them, and how have you landed them and grown your company?
Fortunately, when Jason and I started the company, we'd been in the industry for a while, so we knew quite a few folks, and we market tested the concept with them and said, do you think this would work if I can pull it off? And there was positive reaction. So we go out and we focus on the perfect one is a mid-size data center co-location provider, which means they have a data center, but they sell it to multiple tenants in chunks. And those tenants then will take care of their own equipment sometimes, or sometimes they want somebody too. So it gives us the ability to provide a service to the co-location provider who is really all about real estate, the building of the data center and the program. And then we're about the operating of the data center. And in partnership, we can work for their clients and make sure that their clients' needs are met by keeping the power and air conditioning up all the time, by moving equipment around as needed and plugging in servers and increasing network capacity. So you look out there, some of our biggest clients are Edge Connects and Compass, and we just announced CoreScale, and they all share a common vision of let's get the best possible services team in there. And they chose us because of our services. But the secondary effect is they love the veteran and military spouse program. They support that themselves and hire into their own ranks as well. So a veteran may be with us for 2, 3, 4 years, and then there's an opening at our client, and they can take that and take a position with the client. We just backfill their position and everybody's happy. Our competitors always try to keep people from taking positions with their clients because they see it as defeating, but we see it as a win because now somebody else is on the inside that knows us and how we operate, and we'll continue to grow with the customer.
Is there like a recruitment fee for that, like a headhunter fee, whatever they call that, when you do that?
No, because we have the service contract, we plan that we'll lose about 10% a year to our clients. It actually runs less than that. But as long as we've got the service contract, we're making our money. We've put them through our training program, introduced them. They've gotten experience. They've driven value for us. And then they'll drive value for us later on because they know how we operate and they're in the client business.
I love it. In our businesses, we also want our teammates all to find their best, the best place for them to work, the best place for them to perform and be happy. And we try to, create those environments in our own businesses and our own departments in their businesses, but it's not always the case, right? That somebody out there that might be able to provide something more for them, right? Whether it be the passion for a job or higher income or whatever. And we've had a lot of that where some of our very good, very solid team members went to work for a vendor or a customer or whatever. And I think the biggest thing is that any person should learn is make that transition amazing. Whether you're that person leaving, you're the company helping that person leave, and they're helping fill the void behind them, right? Make it an amazing experience, and it's a win-win-win, right? And I think that's what you're probably focused on doing, and not many companies think that way. Most companies are irritated and even just totally pissed, right? when somebody leaves them for another job. But again, if you look at the way you look at it, it could be a total win-win-win, and a customer for life. Besides, right? If it's treated really, really well. And by the way, if something happens and that person, their job doesn't work out, when they leave, with a great transition and fill that void behind them with great mentorship to that person that's left behind, man, you know what? You would take that person back also. So there's just no downside to that, really, when you think about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. It takes a negative, turns it into a positive.
100%. No, I agree with you on that, and not a lot of people do. But boy, that's a great lesson for anybody in the future, right? So when you look at where you're going, I mean, to have that many teammates this early in a 10-year business life, that's amazing. It's awesome, right? Where are you going to go with this thing? I mean, do you have the talent and the leadership to triple this thing in 5 years, or what's your vision when you look at this?
Looking forward, I think the next 5 years will grow as big as we have the last 10 years. We're just continuing to put the pedal to the metal. Our percentages may not be as high, but our dollar value will be increasing because of the customer acquisition. We're currently in 12 countries. We'll probably add another 2 countries in Europe this fall, and it will continue to expand. We don't have it identified yet, but we are going to have to come up with a solution in Asia. Right now, we're in South America, Europe, and the US, but Asia is a big market as well. And we don't go in developed markets. We follow our clients. So listening to our clients where they want us and when they want us will kind of drive our growth, and then go there with them and open up in those countries. So I'm pretty excited. I think that we're going to be twice as big as we are in 5 years, and that's pretty amazing growth.
That's awesome growth. That's not common. It's you've discovered a great market. You're delivering an amazing product, and you deserve to continue to grow as much as you can handle it. As much as you can find leaders, right, to take on the responsibility of that growth. And being a military guy, you got a leg up on that compared to most people.
I've been blessed. I got such a great team of colleagues at Salute. We just continue to grow and learn and get better every day. And I'm honored just to be associated with them and feel like I'm kind of lucky.
Well, when you look at the direction of our where's your office at? Where's your headquarters?
We have our headquarters in Milwaukee. That's where our back office staff are, but we're spread all across the U.S. because we work on site. Okay.
And when you look at this country and this country that you've served so well, and then you look at the free market world that you're in now, and your customer base and the employees that you serve every day nowadays, right? Do you see any? Are you worried about what you're seeing in government and big government that could hurt us in free markets or just society on the whole?
As a whole, I always worry about government, that they'll put some sort of legislation in place that hampers things and restricts trade, and that would be not the way to go. We've got a lot of press that comes out in our industry about the use of energy, and see what the government's going to do with that and the restrictions that may be put in place. But we're trying to self-govern and coming together as bodies and coming out with sustainability standards to be more efficient. So I think if we can operate well and we can self-govern ourselves, we don't have to have a lot of legislation, because I'm a free market guy. It gets in the way.
Tell us about your family and how many kids you got, and all that kind of stuff. And if there's any mentorship in your life that you look towards thanking when you think about guidance to create the leader that you've become.
And with my family, I think a lot of guidance I get is from them and my wife and my kids. I've got a wife that's endured me for almost 40 years. I've got 3 children that are grown and have 4 grandchildren. So we're in that age of spoiling the grandkids. Love it.
That's awesome. Did you say she's endured you for 40 years? I love it. Yeah, well, the life you've led, it's not easy. You got to have somebody, you got to have a partner that's there with you, right?
It takes a patient woman to be a military spouse or man, and with their partner, in my case, 6.5 years on orders meant about 10 years for the prep time and everything being apart. So she's very, very patient.
That's awesome. Now tell me about any mentors in your life that have made you the man you are today.
So many along the way. Starting way back when I was a kid, my scoutmaster, I was a big Boy Scout, and he guided me and helped me along the way. Football coach in high school, and got into the military and had a variety of leaders that inspired me. And with the way you do leadership and training in the military, I think it's a natural environment to have a lot of great mentors, because as you move unit to unit, you meet new people, new styles, same common doctrine, but how they apply it is different. And you learn so much from that kind of diversity.
That's awesome. I love it. Chris, Chris likes to take the nuggets that he pulls out, nuggets for success, we call it. And Chris, what'd you hear? I heard a lot of good stuff here with Lee. He's an amazing guy.
Oh, really?
In my future.
Yeah, very, very inspiring. Mr. Kirby, if I can just throw a quick question in there. I love the work you're doing to support veterans and, actually help them in arguably the most powerful way by offering them, work and opportunities. If CEOs or really anyone are looking to support veterans, what's the number one action they could take to make the biggest impact?
I think they need to start from the top down and look at their HR process for how they're going to attract. If they've got a workforce development program in place, then they'll have training programs in place for their entire workforce, but also for the new ads. And they need to think about where their shortages are. If they are having personnel shortages, what skill sets are they looking for, and build the program to augment acquisition of those skills and training up for them. So I do think it's all about workforce development and looking at it in a holistic way. It's not just a one and done, but a continuous process, just like the military does throughout their career, to grow and train them, and they'll stay with you if they've got a career plan.
That's awesome. Is there certain industries or skill sets or job types that should most kind of look into this?
I think the growing industries are where you get the most opportunities. And if you look at our industry, it's been growing every year, and it's going to continue because the digital infrastructure supports the digital economy, and its appetite seems to be never ending for having more applications online, more information available. So there's going to need to be more data centers, from small ones to large ones and everything in between. The telecom industry is another good one. Biotech, all of these industries that are growing to support society will be great places for veterans to bring their leadership skills and their discipline and their work ethic. And the smart CEO will realize that they've got a pool of talented, trained resources and capitalize on that, not because of patriotism, but because of capitalism, because you want to get the best resources possible. The patriotism comes second, but the way we work in this capitalist society, you got to have a good deal.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Chris,
That's
nice
great.
you picked up, Chris.
Yeah. So much really inspiring. It really seems like the veterans of our country or world are an incredibly untapped resource that like you said, Mr. Kirby, it's not just for patriotism, but it's a capitalism play that also has a patriotism component. So I think that's a really incredible insight that a lot of CEOs and current and future entrepreneurs could benefit from, that will help their business and help the country as well. You mentioned veteran unemployment was 20% in 2012. I'm hoping we can really make it in that number moving forward. It sounds like you guys are doing incredible work towards that.
Yeah, I've got some old references to that, but it was more like 25%. It was for first termers, folks that had enlisted, done a couple of tours in the desert, came back, and then got out. We'd had the economic depression. We'd had two big surges. So there was a whole bunch of factors leading to that. Then after we got through the unemployment problem, it became one of underemployment. We were hiring veterans that were delivering sandwiches and making coffee and stacking store shelves, because they didn't know the opportunities were there. And every veteran can have, if they want a career in this industry, I think can have a career in this industry.
That's awesome. And you currently have over 800 employees in 12 countries, which is an incredible accomplishment. I think that's a testament to the passion and caring that you have for this community. And you're planning to double your business in 5 years, which is, we'll be rooting for you.
And I think that might be a conservative estimate. We've outperformed what I estimated in 10 years in the beginning, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's awesome. Where can our listeners find out more about you and Salute Mission Critical?
I'm on LinkedIn, and so is Salute. And our website is salutemissioncritical, all one word.com. And they can see case studies and blogs about people's careers and the human side of it, as well as the global services side of it and what services we do offer.
Lee, I'm just south of you in Illinois, just south of the border of Lake Geneva. Let's get together for lunch sometime. I'd love to meet you face to face, because you're an incredible guy and an incredible American. And I really appreciate you and your service. Ditch Digger CEO Patriot series that we are today is proud to have a guy like you on, and love to see what you're doing to make this country a better place. So thanks so much for all you're doing, brother, and keep it up. And I can't wait to see it double in size in 3 years.
Yeah. Appreciate it. We'll talk to y'all soon. Don't be shy to reach out if you have any questions on veteran stuff.
Thank you very much, Lee, and I will be reaching out to you. I appreciate your time.
Take care.
Till next time. See ya.